A little bit about my background. I dug ditches, poured concrete, went home covered with concrete at night. I don't have a college education. I did take college classes for English composition, speech, that type of thing. I've always wanted to keep moving forward. But I had a career in construction, so I don't have any kind of college degree. Yet I'm instructing at college. And it's not 2 nights a week for a couple hours. It's 5 days a week, 7.5 hours a day for 8 weeks straight. They didn't even have a curriculum for this, and I put it together. But what I'm telling you is look at me. I was the honor man of my platoon, which means you are number one. I was on the Joint Honor Cordon for President Nixon. I had 2 meritorious promotions. I'm not telling you that to brag upon myself. I'm telling you for this reason. Look at me. I'm 5'10", 200 some pounds. I kind of had that off. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the smartest. That's probably the best looking. That's not funny, girls. I love to see a good sense of humor. But what I'm telling you, what you can do with drive, what you can do with enthusiasm, oh man. And these 17 principles that we're going to talk about today, if you put these into your life, not just for the softball sport, not just for education, your career and your life, it's going to change it. No matter what you see on TV, everybody's insulting everybody, everybody's upset all the time, everybody's apologizing. You're almost in that real world. How many freshmen? How many sophomores? You're almost in that real world. Come up here if you would, please. Where's that tape measure at? Right here. I need 2 of you gals. Would you come up too, please? You take this end. And you stay right here by me if you would, please. Stretch it out and show us where, turn it this way, show us where 80, right there. Put your finger right there on 80 and you got on the front. Average lifespan today, 80 years of life. You have from how many, 18 to 20, right? Pretty much. So here's 18, here's 20. And you don't go to school full time, so we cut that down another ½ inch. This part right here is your career at Gordon. The rest of this is your whole life. Make these years right here the best years you can make them. That little spot right there is your Gordon College career. This is your life. Thank you. Think about it. What you want to put into that 1.5 inches out of 80 inches. I guarantee you the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. Before we get started, I want to read a sad note. You know, I'm kind of in show business too. I'm a magician. Who asked, somebody asked maybe I'd show them a magic trick. I will do that later. Okay. So being in show business, you know a lot of different people, right? So I want to read you of a person I knew that died recently. It's an obituary. The Pillsbury Doughboy died yesterday of a yeast infection and traumas and complications from repeatedly being poked in the stomach. He was 71. Doughboy was buried in a lightly greased coffin. I can never get through this. Dozens of celebrities turned out to pay their respects, including Mrs. Butterworth, Hungry Jack, the California Raisins, Betty Crocker, the Hostess Twinkies, and Captain Crunch. The grave site was piled high with flowers, you know, like you bake with. Aunt Jemima delivered a eulogy, and she described Doughboy as a man who never knew how much he was needed. Doughboy rose quickly in show business, but his later life was filled with turnovers. He was not considered a very smart cookie, wasting much of his dough on half-baked schemes. Despite being a little flaky at times, he was still a crusty old man. As a crusty old man, he was still considered a positive role model for millions. He is survived by his elderly father, Pop-Tart, his wife, Play-Doh, 2 children, John Doe and Jane Doe, plus they had one in the oven. The funeral was held at 3:50 for about 20 minutes. So say a prayer for Doughboy, would you please? How many of you knew who Pillsbury Doughboy was? Raise your hand. You ever see him? So you know that, right? All right, good. I just wasn't whistling Dixie there because I'm down in Georgia. We're going to start right now with the Gordon State Softball Lady Highlanders in Barnesville, Georgia. You know, as I studied this program for Napoleon Hill, it took me nearly a year. One of the things that I'd learned in that program is 98 out of 100 people will not do this. Only 2% of the population will take these steps and run with them. You'll see if they agree with you or not, these steps. But I guarantee you, they have done something for me. I guarantee you, they've done something for Allison. Zig Ziglar from Plano, Texas. Mr. Ziglar was a very famous motivational speaker. He died about 3 years ago. I went down to Ziglar's headquarters in Plano, Texas 3 different times. This is on the stage at Ziglar. That is Zig behind me. And I received my diploma. What do you see? Do you see the donut or do you see the hole? A lot of people see the hole. Oh, that never work. Oh, that can't be. No, that can't do it. A lot of people just see the hole. They don't see there's a big fat donut around there that's pretty good tasting. It's the small things you do on a daily basis that determine your success in life. Every single day when you do a small thing. We can't do it all at once. If we go out to run a marathon, we don't go out and run 26 miles, 385 yards the first day, do we? Take it a step at a time. That's life. It is that simple. We make life complicated. Human beings are always making our lives complicated. We can't get out of our own way. We trip over our own feet because we have that little inner voice inside us saying, I don't think that'll work. I don't think I can do that. That's too hard. Get rid of that little voice. Napoleon Hill wrote this book, Think and Grow Rich, in 1937. This book is a million seller even today. And it says right at the top of this book could be worth $1 million to you. It truly can. I read this probably 30 years ago, and it kept me moving in the direction I wanted to go. Napoleon Hill in 1937 interviewed the 500 richest and most successful men in America. You might have heard of some of these people. Andrew Carnegie, DuPont, Henry Ford, Harvey Firestone, Thomas Edison. Have you heard any of those names? And this is how they became successful. He put it in his book. And you can see I've highlighted a lot in this book as I've read this over and over. Later on, in 1994, this book came out. And each one of you are going to get this book today. I bought these books and I told Allison I wanted to donate them to the Lady Highlanders softball team. I want each one of you to have this. And this is such a good book because, you know, I don't like to read a lot, and it's small. Each chapter is about 6 pages. They got big spaces in here. Pretty nice, huh? Do you wish everything was that way? A lot better, easy to read. Let's talk about the first principle of achievement. It is the habit. Everything you've done to this point is the habit. Now, if you want to take notes, go ahead, but I'm going to give you a handout that will have each one of these on it. And you'll have the book. So take notes if you want, but you don't need to. It is a habit. Everything you've done up to this point is a habit. Whether you got to school on time, or stayed in bed, or stayed up late, or ate junk, or didn't eat right, or didn't exercise, it's a habit. When you change the habits that you have for better habits, that's when you become successful. It's a starting point of all achievement, and goals halfway set, properly set, are halfway there. What would be the goal of the Lady Highlanders this year? Win the conference? Go on to, after regular season play, go on to a World Series? Listen, I don't care how big, how smart, how fast you are. Look at me. When I was in school and I had geometry class, you know what I was doing right before that class? Please let me get a D. Please, God, let me get a D. I was praying to get a D. But when you can have this drive and this enthusiasm, you're going to make it. By keeping your goal in mind, it makes you alert to opportunities. If you're thinking have success consciousness, always thinking successful. How do I want to be successful? Little things will come. We're going to cover a whole gamut, and this is a first for me. Now, I've given these keynote speeches at the state of Illinois in Springfield for the Teachers Association. I just gave one 2 weeks ago for the it was the milk sanitizers. I don't know what the heck that was. Oh, that's coming up, isn't it? I've done a few of them. I gave one for the Can and Tube Institute. Now, how exciting is Can and Tube Institute? I don't know. It's like, and I've attended the Asphalt Convention. How uplifting can the Asphalt Convention be? How much can you talk about? Successful people move on their own initiative, but they know where they go before they start. You know why? Because they've got a goal. And every time you've got that goal out in front of you, as you go towards that, you keep that goal in mind and you shift. If you shift around, if you don't, you're like a boat without a rudder. You're just going from side of the river, side of the lake, back and forth. Have that goal in mind. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want, do anything you set out to accomplish to do if you hold that desire with a singleness of purpose, a definiteness of purpose. 1994, Napoleon Hill put this out. Guess what? Abraham Lincoln said that in the 1860s. Life does not change. That's one. Number two, the habit of working in complete harmonies with others for the attainment of a specific goal or objective. You know what? You've got it, right? Lady Highlanders want to win the conference. Everybody start thinking that way. Everybody start having that enthusiasm. Everybody start that drive. As I started to say a few minutes ago, this is a first for me to give it to a ball team. I thought, why can't these principles apply to a ball team? Oh man, I want you guys to make me proud. You know, you guys went on to win the conference and go somewhere else. You know what happened? I'd be putting that on my resume. Talk to these Lady Highlanders. Zig Ziglar said, to get whatever you want, help enough other people get what they want. If you help enough other people get what they want, good things are going to come to you. You got to determine your purpose, your goal, your why. You got to select the members of your Mastermind Alliance. Guess what? They've already been selected. This is the Mastermind Alliance right here. That's you. You got to determine your rewards. What are they going to be? Winning the conference? Going on to postseason play? You start thinking that way, and I'm going to tell you what, it can come about. It does not matter. I think it was about 1980. Georgetown is playing little old Villanova in the NCAA championships. Georgetown is favored by 8, 10 points. Guess who won? Villanova beat big old Georgetown and won the national championship. Remember that story? And you can help us out here. Remember that story of David and Goliath? Who won that battle? Yeah. Set a time and place to meet. You're already doing that. You're going to have meetings. You're going to have practices. You've set that. This is probably one of my favorites of the 17 principles of achievement. Going the extra mile. The habit of doing more than is required from you with the expectation of receiving greater compensation from direct or vicarious sources. It doesn't take much to go the extra mile. You know why? Because most people aren't even going the first mile. If you're doing the first mile and you go the second mile, I'm going to tell you what, somebody's going to notice. And as you go through and you complete your career here at Gordon, you complete your education, somebody's going to see that you give a little bit more, you do a little bit more. Most people go, not my job. It's not my job to do that. It doesn't take that much effort to go the extra mile. There's a formula for this. Q1 plus Q2 equals MA, or plus MA equals C. Q1 is this: the quality of service you render, the quality that you put into your practice, the quality that you put into your education. Q2, the quality of service you give. Are you there every day? Do you show up? If you have a part-time job and you're working at one of the places here in Barnesville, and you're supposed to be there at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and you've signed on for that, don't let somebody call you up and say, hey, come on, let's go out tonight. Blow that off. You don't need to go there. You've signed up to do that. That's called integrity. There's a lack of integrity today in many places in the United States. But if you have integrity, somebody's going to notice. And the mental attitude in which you do it. When I was a construction superintendent, I was over the whole project. I had 100 and some people that were my employees that I had to build a baseball stadium in 10 months. Peoria Chiefs Baseball Stadium in Peoria, Illinois. They are a Cubs affiliate. The person that plays there for the Chiefs, their next step is to go to the Cubs. I couldn't have done that without having these things. And I wasn't terrible with people. I would say, hey, I need you to go over and take care of something over here. Now here's 2 examples of what people would say to me. No problem, take care of it. And they go and they walk like they got some gumption doing it. Other people, come on, I just did that yesterday. I have to do it again? What? Now in construction, when it comes time and you run out of work, you lay people off. That's just the nature of the game. Who do you think I'm going to keep? That person that goes, hey, I have to do that again, I just did that. Or the person that says, no problem, take care of it. And walking like they've got some determination. People notice. The compensation. So the quality of service, the quantity of service, the mental attitude in which you give it, that equals this. All of this. And for you, that's what it equals. A winning team. Applied faith. The habit of acting as if you already have what you want in life. Thinking, we are going to be champions. We are going to win those games. Believing in yourself. Faith is your awareness, belief in and harmonizing with universal powers and with nature. Look, nature doesn't change. Every year, spring comes around, doesn't it? Sooner or later, summer comes. Fall comes, leaves fall off the tree. Winter comes. You guys don't have the snow we have in Illinois. We sometimes will get 15, 20 inches, and it might be 10 below zero. You don't get that cold down here, but you're still going to get. Nature does not change. You have to be in harmony with it and think. Use your head. Don't simply have faith, but believe in yourself. Many of us have doubt. And you know why? Because we had so many people, and it could be our parents, could be our siblings, could be our friends, it could be our fellow students that tell us, oh, you could never do that. Oh, you can't do that. Before I went to the Marine Corps, I asked somebody, they told me about the platoon honor man. That's the best physical, best leader, best mentally alert. I said, well, I'd like to do that. Are you kidding? You could never do that. You're too heavy. You can't run fast enough. You're not bright enough. I heard all those things. And we hear them all the time. And I know every one of us has heard these. You are built for success. You are endowed with seeds of greatness. Every single one of you. You just got to let them out. You got to stop tripping over your own feet. And you can't let somebody drag you back into that abyss as you're coming out of it. Prove to them. It's a state of mind. And William Shakespeare said, assume the position if you have it not. When I was digging ditches, pouring concrete, 96 degrees, I kept thinking there's got to be something else. This is hard work. This is hot. And as time went on, I got to think. I asked one of the vice presidents, would you give me the opportunity to be a foreman? They did the next job. The next job was a $60 million job. Well, I come from just digging ditches. Somebody was watching me, and they said, we'd like you to be a superintendent. I said, no, I don't have any schooling. There was no apprenticeship program at that time. I don't know how to read blueprints. That person said to me, I think you can do it. I want you to be my superintendent. And I went and did it. It wasn't easy, was it? I went through hell. Not knowing many things, having to learn on the fly, many people smarter than me. But I applied a lot of these principles. And it sure helped me. A pleasing personality, number one of the 17 principles. It's the habit of generally being agreeable and friendly with people. PMA, positive mental attitude. We hear this all the time. It is not junk. Positive mental attitude is so right on to make you the person that you are. Tact, courtesy, a sense of humor. You guys didn't have much of a sense of humor on my Pillsbury Doughboy joke, but I thought, well, maybe I'm new to them. They really don't know. Good communication, the tone of your voice. Oh, man, how important is that? Good communication. What do you need on a softball field? Good communication, don't you? You need to know what's going on. The tone of your voice, so you're going to say, I got it, I got it. No, get away, I got it. Right? But if you're up close, you want to say, a little slower, a little softer. A good handshake, good eye contact, and this right here. Smile. People notice your... There's coming out now, isn't it? It's a little hard to get it out of you. I kept watching you. Now look at that smile. She has got a great smile. Use it. Smile. Speak with confidence. Make friends. Imagine the person you want to be. Love what you do. And guess what? Expect the best to happen to you. Expect that win. Expect it to come. You got to want it. You're always making an impression. Somebody's always watching you. They are always watching you. And if I'm in that room, I'm the guy that's always watching you. Went to eat at a place last night, and nobody else seems to see it. I'm the only guy that gets to see these things for some reason. So I watched a guy come out. He takes and I've seen this before, takes the rag to wipe the tables at a restaurant, wipes the dirty table off after people have been there, sweating, whatever they're doing. Then he takes that same rag, takes the bottle of ketchup or barbecue sauce, and wipes the top off with that rag, right where that sauce is coming out. How many want that? Anybody like that? I didn't like it. It's called common sense. Why do we have to have a sign in the bathroom for employees? After they go to the bathroom, employees must wash hands. Why do we have to have that? Isn't that common sense? You're always making an impression. Somebody's always watching. Personal initiative. The habit, and you'll notice each one of these starts, it's a habit. The habit of starting tasks that are important to you and seeing them through. A lot of people can start something And they kind of drift off, don't they? Don't finish it. When you start something, finish it. If you don't know how to finish it, that's no problem. There's 1,000 things that I don't know how to do. I will go and ask somebody that I know that has done it before. One of the great things I found recently, and of course, I'm one of those older people that, you know, the internet and the, whatever this stuff is, Twitter, Twanker, whatever you guys use anymore. I go to YouTube. How do I put a lawnmower starter in? There's a lot of them on there. If you don't know how to do something, don't be afraid, because it doesn't diminish you. Ask. There are two types of people who will never amount to anything. You know who they are? First one is those who will never do anything except what they're told. I can't pick that up. I'm not told to do that. The other one is those who can never not even do what they're told. Told to do something, they ramble off another way. Those are the two type of people that will never amount to anything. Don't you be that person. I don't think you are. You guys have already obviously had some kind of career, have you not, in softball? So you already started. Positive mental attitude. The habit of looking for the positive side of every situation, especially during times of adversity and turmoil. Are you going to win every single game? Might not. But that's not what you got to do, is it? You got to win the majority, and you got to win when the timing is right. In postseason play, right? So just because you lose one time or two, don't let that get to you. This is the single most important principle of the 17, having a positive mental attitude. Success does attract success, and failure does attract failure. When people start going downhill, getting into drugs, doing things they shouldn't do, that hill just keeps going down. When people start creating success and start working, get a little bit of money coming their way, and things start working out, they start moving forward that way. Your mental attitude is the one thing you have control over. Complete control over. How you react to something is in your complete control. You can get mad, pound your fist, cuss, spit, chew tobacco. That's a joke, girls. Or you can take it graciously and figure out, what am I going to do next? 10% of what happens to us in life is what happens. 90% of it is how we react to it. What do? We get even, we get mad, we put out on social media, you're dumb. I can't say some of the things that probably are put out on social media, but let me tell you something. That social media stays with you for a long time. There are now people from 20 years ago that are in the spotlight, that they're going back and finding their social media and what they put on there, and these people are apologizing for it now, or they're losing their job over it. Just think good thoughts. Put out good things. Have I always done that? No. But each day I'm trying a little bit harder to be better. You do the same thing. Enthusiasm. Holy mackerel. Isn't that what a ball team needs? It's the habit of keeping yourself energized by focusing your life on what you love most. At the time you're playing ball, that's what you're loving most, isn't it? But it needs to be in controlled enthusiasm. You can't just go wild. Control your enthusiasm. Where you can get excited, jump, clap, run, but don't just scream and holler. Control the enthusiasm. It's important. Enthusiasm and power, you know why? Because it can transform adversity and failure and temporary defeat into action. You all have seen this. Basketball teams, 2 teams are playing. The home team is down by 15 points. What is the fan base doing? Sitting, talking, texting, not paying any attention. All of a sudden, the home team comes down, hits a 3-pointer. Now they're only down by 12. A couple of people look up. The opposite team's going down and the ball gets stolen down for a layup. The home team's now only down by 10. A few more people start clapping. That enthusiasm starts building. That contagiousness starts rolling. That home team comes back and wins the game. You ever saw that? We have all seen that. And that's because of having some enthusiasm. It is a state of mind. It inspires action. The more enthusiastic you are, the more contagious it becomes. You know how you can be enthusiastic? Act enthusiastic. Self-discipline, the habit of choosing not to make negative choices that will cost you more than what you will gain. Drugs. Theft. Those type of things are going to cost people more than what they gain. And I don't understand it. I really don't understand these people that just come up and shoot somebody. And are they not thinking they're going to go to jail for the rest of their life? Make good choices. Have that self-discipline. It's pivotal to personal initiative, positive mental attitude, enthusiasm. To have self-discipline. There are 7 positive emotions: love, sex, hope, faith, enthusiasm, loyalty, and desire. Those are the positive emotions. And you'll see them in the book. The negative emotions are this: fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, anger, and superstition. What does anger do for us? Nothing. Hurts us. What does hatred do for us? Nothing. It only hurts you. That person that you're hating, the best thing to do is just ignore them. Don't hate them. Because they're going out and having a good time and you're all tensed up all the time. Positive emotions can also be destructive. You know why? Because if you have a boy that's chasing you and he just won't let you alone, and he's just so in love, he just can't stay away, and you go, oh, wait. Too much positive emotion can be destructive. Has anybody had that situation? Yeah. Now, my wife, I chased her for a long time. Today it would be called stalking. Back then they didn't have that law. So I was pretty lucky. Think before you act, because you know what? Act. Don't react. Stop for a moment.